And now, lesson 12, the final, the epilogue, the path to success. Why there are no coaching rules of the road. That's right, we've given you lots of ideas. Maybe even some of you have said these are good rules, and in many cases there are. But could it be that indeed, when it comes to good performance coaching, that there are no real coaching rules? Well, that's for you to find out. His name was Curly. You've probably heard of him. He was the one in City Slickers who just simply said, "That's for you to find out." Hey, learn the 7 easy steps to making a fortune in real estate. Hey, the 5 secrets of successful selling and making $1 million. Hey, the 8 keys to optimum health and spiritual well-being. The 9 laws for acquiring fame and fortune. Hey, these are just some takeoffs of some of the kinds of titles making the success circuit. We would all love to believe that there is a recipe for success in all of our endeavors. It would be nice if life had a series of cookbooks. If we could just know which ingredients to add in, what amount, and in which order, and then how long we would have to wait to enjoy the good stuff of success. That would be nice. Well, you know what? We face a similar desire and dilemma in the coaching experience. We would like to know that there are ways to be competent and a successful coach to others, and that's what this has all been about. We'd like to be certified and know that we have taken the steps and mastered the principles and understood the rules of the road for providing a worthwhile, effective coaching experience for our clients. Everyone's promising they can do that. We may also want the experience to be profitable in order to build our practice and sustain our own well-being. Unfortunately, we will soon discover that there are no time-tested recipes, success steps, or rules of the road for the coaching experience. The coaching experience, dealing with that truth and pressing on, is what this final episode is all about. Review the boundaries, okay? Coaching others in some form has been with us since humankind began. When one person discovered a way to please a supreme being, he was coaching. When another discovered a better way to hunt and fish and demonstrated it to his mates, he was coaching. It has gone on in mentoring, apprenticeships, discipleships, and other such forms throughout time. But formalized performance coaching in business and organizational arenas is relatively new. So all these guidebooks and essays have attempted to build a means and a model for you to be a superior performance coach to others. Yeah, however, it is vital that you're seeking to be a coach that realize that you are just one of many advisors in the helping people marketplace, and you should know your boundaries. Some of these boundaries are obvious. Unless you are also an attorney. That's right. You don't give legal counsel. You might be a savvy business person as well as a good coach, but unless you are a trained and certified accountant, you should not be giving professional tax and accounting counsel. That should be obvious to you, but oftentimes we fail. I have a standard line that I repeat when the areas come up. With a smile, I say, "Remember, I'm a performance coach. I am not a licensed counselor, attorney, or accountant. If you need advice in those areas, make sure you seek out and consult with a licensed professional." Now, that does not mean that I never talk about those areas of life and business. I might share my own experience, but then I make it clear that the counsel they must act on must come from others. That is part of what it means as a performance coach and the disclaimer that you must give. However, there are other boundaries that may not be as obvious or as ironclad in their implication and application as the previous professional services. But an awareness of them will help you and your client better understand and define what you do as a coach. Here are the 4 ideas and definitions of helping and guiding ways that you can use to better communicate clarity and differences in what you do. Here we go. In the coaching experience provided by our teachers at whatever company you're at, we do our best to honor the following boundaries as per these definitions and descriptions. Ask yourself how they might work for you in the work you do for others. Here we go. Therapy. Therapy helps the client, the person, deal with pathologies. Therapy often involves deep psychic work and analysis to help the client or the patient understand the roots of his or her experience and behavior, which may be debilitating, dysfunctional, or even destructive. With this understanding, the client can adjust his or her perspective and living strategies and behave differently. This understanding and changed behavior helps the client achieve better personal and relational well-being. Now, we in the coaching experience do not do therapy. That's not what we do. Cognitive therapy is based on the idea that when you change the way you think, you can change the way you feel and behave. In other words, if we can learn to think about other people in a more positive and realistic way, it will be far easier to resolve conflicts and perhaps develop rewarding personal and professional relationships. David Burns points that out to us. Okay, continuing on. Now there's counseling. Counseling helps the client deal with their problems. The counselor is trained in psychology and often uses psychological insights to help their client better understand the problems before them. Sometimes therapy plays a part in achieving this goal, but primarily the focus is on working through specific and localized problems. This better living through psychology will help improve the client's life and business results. I often tell clients, I am your coach. I'm not your counselor. Then there's consulting. Now, consulting is primarily pedagogical. It usually provides the client with research information, instruction, and possible application. Consulting can become a lot like coaching when the client is given sound instruction in how to execute the possible application. Execution is a part of performance, and that is what coaching is about. Coaching is about performance. The coach may use insights from the behavioral sciences and ideas from therapy and counseling models, but changing your life is not the immediate goal. A coach provides encouragement, a system of accountability, fresh ideas, informed insights, and tailored challenges so the client can improve his or her performance and perhaps even perform at his or her best. In performing at their best, they achieve goals, they increase their circle of influence, they live with less fear, and they lay the groundwork for personal and professional greatness even. Yes, that can happen. Having a clear understanding of the boundaries of our work is vital and helps us because there are no rules of the road for coaching success. That's right. There are no top 10 lists. This whole series of guides, chapters, and essays is an example of the paradoxes we face in life. The coaching experience model, methods, and principles we have described would seem to be a very practical how-to manual. Well, it is, and yet it is not. That's the paradox. One popular late-night television comedian in America has popularized the top 10 lists idea. It is an amusing way to spoof at and yet demonstrate our desire to understand things with simple list of truths, tactics, tips, and techniques. All we need to know is the list, and we've got it. Unfortunately, this amusing way of understanding things also typifies much of our present way of thinking about how we can conduct our lives and seek to be successful. Yeah, just do the list. Go back now to our introduction. Look around and see how much of the get the list way of thinking pervades our way of working. Everything from sales success to marital happiness to being a millionaire is reduced to 5, 7, 9, or 10 ways to have, to do, and to become. Again, we love and often desire the recipe book. The guides we have provided contain some great recipes for great coaching, but they were developed by me in my work with my clients. I firmly believe that they will work well for any coaching experience you seek to provide. But they will only work as you find ways to customize, modify, add, delete, and build an experience that works best for you and your clients. This mindset also affects those with whom we work with. In my own coaching experience, I have found people who want me to give them success recipes. Unfortunately, they feel that way because they've been taught that there is some foolproof system that will work. So they have spent $5,000 for a marketing system guaranteed to work if you only follow the system that the provider is offering. I seek to remind them that no such system exists. To believe that there is a foolproof turnkey system developed by someone else for somebody else's clients that will work for you will only prove that you are foolish. That's right. There is no coaching or consulting system that you can follow with full success. You will have to have the creativity and courage to use what you can from others to create your own principles and practices from your own experience, and then bring them together to make a unique experience that can only be had because of you, your wit, your warmth, your experience, your good ideas, and wisdom. Indeed, there are no top 10 lists for being a great coach to others. But based on this, there are still some themes that are for all. Let's talk about that. The heart of the matter. Since there are no lists and no recipes for coaching success, what do we have? The subtitle to this little essay episode is part of the answer. There are no hard rules and there is no road to follow. There is only a path. A path does not have permanence. It has no fixed borders, and it can easily change course. A path is usually not direct because it was found by exploring, not built after charting and surveying like a road. That's right. To make a deep physical path, we walk again and again. To make a deep mental path, we must think over and over the kind of thoughts we wish to dominate our lives. Henry David Thoreau. But most of all, a path is one you have to help create. As you walk a path, you do a detour, you go out and back, you help give it greater permanence as you walk and wear the weeds down. There is no road, only a path based on where you and other travelers have trod. You will be the creator of your own experience on the path rather than by working someone else's rules on their road. There is, however, what I call the heart of the matter. There is a vital trio of traits and tactics that are fundamental to any coaching experience. They are at the heart of what any good coach does. The first is compassion. The word has some subtle but profound meanings. Passion means deep feelings. In some cases, it means feeling so deeply that you even suffer for another. Compassion now means to have deep feelings for another. A coach has to care deeply and be genuinely interested in other people. My mission in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive, and to do so with some passion, some compassion, some humor, and some style. Maya Angelou. Great talk. There are lots of professions, occupations, and jobs where you do not have to be interested or even care about people. A good coach is not like a consultant who works on a project or a report. A coach works with people. Today, many people have decided to be a coach for a variety of financial, marketing, occupational, and, it's the thing to do now reasons. That is the wrong motivation. Compassion must be at the heart of the coaching motivation. That's it. The next is choice. The heart and desire of a coach is to live themselves and to help their clients live with a deep sense of purpose. But in the midst of purposeful living, they remind their clients that they are to live at choice. They can, no matter what, be responsible for making choices. Now here is a paradox I embrace. I embrace compassion as a positive, but it is also responsible for a powerful negative. Unfortunately, our overly compassionate society has allowed too many people to portray themselves as victims. There is too much learned helplessness today. There is also a great deal of fear and anxiety in our work and performance environments. As a result, the life experience of many is that they feel stuck. Coaching is often cheerleading people. Our clients, we remind them, they are always at choice. The choices may not always be one of our choosing, and the consequences not the most appealing, but one can always make a choice. See the results of that choice and choose again. Choice is fundamental to any coaching experience that you design. Today I choose life. Every morning when I wake up, I can choose joy, happiness, negativity, pain. To feel the freedom that comes from being able to continue to make mistakes and choices. Today, I choose to feel a life, not to deny my humanity, but to embrace it. Kevin Aucoin taught me that, but I knew it. Without courage, there is nothing. Scott Peck reminds us all that life is difficult. If you see the word encouragement, you can see the relationship to what the coach has to do. One of the central themes of the coaching experience we have described is that fear kills everything. To respond in the face of our fears, to choose to act boldly, is often what we must all seek to do. The performance coach must seek to be a man or a woman growing in courage, helping his or her clients and colleagues to grow that way too. At the bottom of every significant coaching challenge is the reminder that it all comes down to courage. The coaching mind. There is a favorite picture that hangs in my office. It is a picture of a man looking up at the famous statue of David by Michelangelo. It is a striking picture with light, shading, and shadows just right. Most who see it think that it is a professional picture. The truth is that it is a simple, accidental snapshot that turned out just right. My wife took it of me many years ago as I looked up at the classic statue on a visit to Florence, Italy. The picture is a way of reminding me and others of the coaching mindset. In the best sense of the word, a coach seeks to be a Renaissance man or woman. The great men and women of the Renaissance in Western Europe were interested in everything. And that is the meaning of the term. They were people of faith, but also interested in art, philosophy, exploration, business, commerce, engineering, architecture, government, drama, and the art of living. Too often we forget that in an age of specialization, focus, and niche marketing, we still need people of universal interests. One client said to me, "How did you come to know so much about Russian history, theology, marketing, and strategic thinking?" I thanked them for the compliment and just said, "That's who I am, and that's what I do." A good consultant is often a great specialist. The very focused niche specialties that some consultants have is amazing. Since they are very good on that subject, they can perhaps make a very good living in that subject. My greatest strength as a consultant is to be ignorant and ask a few questions. That's what Peter Drucker said. A good coach is concerned with helping people perform in the performance environment of their client. It helps them to learn about themselves and what they do. You would not believe how much you can learn by just being interested in the lives, loves, passions, and possessions of your clients. Whenever a client tells me about a book they have read, are enjoying, or learning from, I am on my way to buy that book. By the way, I love to order all of my books used from one of the independent used book sources. Not only do you save on the price, but I'm hoping that they will be marked up and annotated by the previous reader. I am fascinated to find out what the previous reader found helpful or of interest. It's a good idea. I have often discovered that by expressing interest and asking the client questions about whatever is the current project or concern, that he or she discovers insights and actions to take that help him or her move ahead with greater confidence and improved performance. As a result, a good coach often gets the credit for wisdom, ways of doing things, and good ideas that were not his own stock of mental stuff. It's happening many times. But because he was interested, asked questions, and knew a lot of other stuff, all of that became helpful to the client. They gained their own clarity and often gave their coach credit for the insight. On more than one occasion, I've had clients credit me with ideas that really came from them. Again, we face the truth. There are no sure steps or 10 ways to develop a coaching mindset. But developing it by being genuinely interested in lots of other things is helpful. But finally, it is a mindset of the heart. How is that for a paradox? To be truly interested in others and what they are interested in, which can be almost anything and everything, is important. I'm reminded of the line by Dale Carnegie in his classic book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, that all human failure arose from a lack of interest in others. Walking with wisdom. I remember one individual who told me that coaching was overrated. He said that if one gets the data, the decisions would usually take care of themselves. Then we can easily figure out what to do. His claim was that we just needed to renew our efforts and work hard at getting good data. Well, there is, of course, a measure of truth there. But I respectfully disagreed. His comment is just plain not true. A simple verbal sketch will illustrate data is stuff. Mountains of facts and fancies, details and dreams, ciphers and codes. The data must be collected and interpreted in order to give us information. Information is of limited use until it is applied and becomes helpful knowledge. But knowledge may not make us wise. I often note that the World Wide Web is helping us solve the data, information, and even knowledge issues. Increasingly, everybody will be able to have the data, the information, and the knowledge that anybody else has. What we often lack is the ability to walk with wisdom. Knowledge comes, but wisdom lingers. Alfred Lord Tennyson. Ultimately, the goal of any good to great coaching experience is those rare moments when both coach and client know that by coming together, they are colleagues in walking with wisdom. But now the question, what is wisdom? And where is it found? And what do you do with it in seeking true success? Well, the answer is probably hidden in a story. Keep in mind that throughout history, thoughtful, wise men and women have often communicated true wisdom in simple stories. Please remember that. But this is a pop culture story. In the classic film City Slickers, many years ago, one of the lead characters is portrayed by, actor Billy Crystal. He and his friends have decided to seek help. To sort out their difficulties and broken lives and careers by going to a dude ranch. There, their coach is Curly, portrayed by actor Jack Palance. After a trying coaching experience, the Crystal character is lying in the dust, disoriented and discouraged. Curly, the Jack Palance character, comes over and says to him, You know what this is all about, don't you? The Crystal character says, No, what is it all about? And then Curly responds, lifting his index finger in the air and says, It is about the one thing. The one thing, he continues. The response, And what the blankety blank is that? The response is, That's for you to find out. The transforming goal of the coaching experience is to acquire, live, and communicate to others life-changing wisdom. And what's that, you ask? That's what each of us has to find out. Life-changing wisdom. Best and blessings to you as you seek to do just that. And may your life go well, and may you enjoy unparalleled success, but not necessarily in the things you were seeking, but unparalleled success in the things that surprise you, delight you, and for which you weren't expecting. But by good works and God's grace, they came to you, and you're grateful, and you're thankful, and you use the power that they give you, and you share it with others. I'm Stan Houston. I'm old, but I've been working very, very hard on this coaching experience for many, many years. And if God gives me the gift of a number of years, I'd like in any way to pass this stuff on to others so they can use it and pass it on to others and pass it on to others. And whether I ever get credit for it or not is not important. The important thing is, if we have been given the gift of wisdom, we are necessarily inclined, more than inclined, we are necessarily committed and commanded to pass it on. So I hope this will be helpful to you, and indeed, live it, be successful with it, share it with others, and of course, teach it to others and pass it on. All the best and blessings forever. Bye for now. Please reach out to us. I'm Stan Houston. StanHouston@gmail.com, witradio.net, 520-664-7002, USA.